In 14 years as a professional boxer, Gerry Cooney went 28-3 with 24 knockouts. Known for his devastating left hook and Gentleman Gerry nickname, Cooney came within a wink of the world heavyweight title in 1982, going 13 rounds with Larry Holmes. He was raised in a working-class New York suburb, but his childhood was a tough one. His father was physically and mentally abusive to him and his brothers. He battled alcohol and drug addiction during the peak of his career in the 1980s, but he's been sober for more than 3 decades. He now trains the next generation of fighters and helps mentor youth experiencing the same difficult childhood he did. An honor, fought for the World Heavyweight Championship twice, 28-3 in the ring. The book is called Gentleman Gerry, a contender in the ring, a champion in recovery. An honor to meet you. Gerry Cooney, thank you, man.
Great to be with you.
Appreciate
great
that.
To be here.
Let's see it. Let's see it. There you go. And by the way,
that's just a setup.
That's a setup.
Then it's coming to you.
I've got some questions that he is going to evaluate, and then we'll see what happens here.
I just want to tell you, all you're going to hear is get up, get up.
I've heard that for a while. You are a true spokesman for not only what you did in the ring, but out of it. First of all, talk about the book.
Well, the book is a great story about my life, the ups and downs.
Yeah.
You know, you raise up, you fall down, you get up again, and listen, we all struggle with those things, and mine was a tough story. I didn't have anybody really in my corner. Had to find my own way, and you bang and you make mistakes along the road, and you know, I picked myself up 31 years ago, put down the booze, and got a great life. I got a great family. Life is great. I'm here with you today. Who's got better than that? Let's talk about your personal story, because that drives a lot of this as well. You had a brother. He went into boxing. You went into boxing with your brother. Wow. But you had some issues at home. Talk about those. I did. You know, I grew up in a house where I learned a lot. I was no good, a failure. I'm not going to amount to anything. And so I learned to believe them. And boxing was a way for me to get rid of that anger. And then they put my picture in the paper when I won the state championship. So it made me somebody. I stayed with it. My brother didn't. And I continued to fight. I fought in the American team. I turned pro when I was 18 years old, and it's been a great career. You know, great experience traveling the world, meeting great people like you and other people. I'm going to fight you today sometime. I don't know when, but we're going to go, bro.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. I've been so nice to him, and I'm trying to tell the story before he lays me out. So the early days had to overcome some personal turmoil, but the motivation of getting in, was it the Olympics? Was it got a gold medal at the end of the rainbow? Was it the heavyweight division? And you know, here's Ken Norton, and I'm here. What was it? A lot of things. Well,
in the book, you're going to read that I got invited to the finals of the Olympic trials. That's where the top 8 guys go to Colorado Springs and fight it out, and the top 2 guys go to the Olympics. I didn't go. I said my father was sick. He was sick, but I didn't have the self-esteem. I didn't think I was good enough. Why am I going to go there and look bad? I gave up that chance. Now, it was the biggest regret of my life. And the second biggest regret of my life was in 1981, I knocked out Kenny Norton in 1 round. That night, my career ended. I started drinking, messing around, not taking care of myself, and 13 months later, I fight Holmes and get stopped in the 13th round, and that's what happened. But from that time, you know, you get knocked down, you pick yourself up, you dust off your pants, and you get on with your life, and I was blessed to do that.
Well, and you got some great stories. Hold on about 81, because I want people to understand that you were in the Garden, and you just annihilated him.
I want to just tell you, May 11, 1981, I fought Kenny Norton. I could have beat anybody in the world. I was a bad man. I was in the best shape of my life ever. If I fought Holmes, I knocked out Holmes that night. And I drifted away. I got lost.
Hard question to ask. Why did it go so south so soon?
I don't know whether it was the pressure. Maybe it was the pressure. I didn't have a good upbringing. I didn't have a good foundation. The pressure got to me. My father telling me, you're no good, you're a failure, you're not going to amount to anything. Maybe that, I don't know what it was, but I drifted away, and it was just sad. I wish I had somebody, like you probably, who would have grabbed me by the arm and said, hey, Cooney, come on, get over here.
He'd have punched me before that. So the 1982 fight with Holmes obviously started another. You've been sober for 31 years. Talk about that.
April 21st, 1988, I ran into a guy who said to me, he was a tough guy, he used to be a bodyguard for me. He said, Gerry, I just had 3 years to no drinking. He said, you never have to drink again. I heard that 1,000 times, but I didn't hear it like him. His name was Jack Burnett, and we're still friends today. And that was the day I stopped drinking 31 years ago, April 21st, 1988. And it's been a great ride. I learned a lot about myself, worked through a lot of fears, angers, and disappointments. And listen, we got to turn the page and get on with our lives. And that's what my book is about. Yeah. It's about turning the page, stop being stuck, turning the page and getting on with your life.
Well, you got your body and your mind right, and then you embarked upon an incredible vision to help other people. Youth consultation services.
Well, you know, listen, when I was a kid, I was lost. I didn't have anybody direct me. So I get a chance to spend a couple of days, a couple of hours a week with these kids and tell them, listen, they watch a fight film, a highlight film of mine. I talk to them about life and about, listen, you all want to be basketball players, you all want to play football, but if you don't make it, you need something to fall back on. Got to stay in school, maybe get in the post office, and just love them. Listen, when I was a kid, one time I got to go to a friend's house and they had cookies and soda and we watched TV. That was like a miracle to me. I give that to those kids. I take them to lunch, I bring them snacks, I tell them I love them, and we learn how to fight. And through boxing, they get rid of their frustration. Listen, you know everything about me. You're good, bro.
All right, well, no, I don't, because I haven't finished. Well, how about the Academy in Scotch Plains? What about that?
Well, that's greatest because I get to train kids. My little daughter is a great dancer. She also can fight. We get to spend a couple of days a week boxing together. She teaches some classes, and we teach kids, and at nighttime we teach adults. And I'm in the process of getting some professional fighters to teach them the skill, because a lot of the great trainers that used to teach died. And so these younger kids came in to teach a watered down version of boxing. I had a great teacher, and I love the game, and I love you being safe and strong and powerful.
Gerry Cooney, thank you, man. See you. One more shot, huh?